Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. I want to give a special shout out to all of my new subscribers. You guys don't understand how much I truly really appreciate your support. You watching the videos, you commenting, you subscribing, you're liking, you're sharing. You guys are helping my channel to grow. I am almost at 400 subscribers, so I'm truly thankful for all of you guys' support. Now, as you can see by the beginning of this video, which top we will be making today. So to begin, I'm going to show you guys which yarn I am using. I'm using yarn from the Red Heart Super Saver brand. This yarn does recommend a crochet hook of 5mm, so I will be using the 5mm crochet hook for this top. Also, this is a weight 4 yarn, and this is the color saffron. You don't have to use acrylic yarn if maybe you're not comfortable, maybe you're allergic, maybe you want something that's super baby soft. You can use cotton or any other yarn. Just make sure it is weight 4 with a recommendation of 5mm crochet hook, okay? So, as I previously mentioned, I am using a 5mm crochet hook like the yarn recommended. Before I get into teaching you guys how we're going to start off this portion of the top, you will need to measure your underbust circumference. And whatever that is for you, for me, it measures to be 32 inches. So I'm going to take off 2 inches. So I'm actually going to do 30. And that's how long your band that we are getting ready to create should be. So my band is going to have a length of 30 inches. My underbust is actually 32, but I'm going to take off 2 inches just for a bit more of a snug. If that's not comfortable for you, then feel free to actually make yours the exact inches of your underbust. So you're going to begin by making a slip knot, and then you're going to chain up a total of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go back into the stitch that is second from the hook. So that is the stitch here. As if you're working back down, it's going to be that immediate space to the left. You're going to enter that space and draw up a single crochet. And you're going to crochet into the remaining stitches. So that's 1. This is 2. This will be 3. And this will be 4. Okay, so you have a total of 4 single crochet. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to work into the back loops only from this point forward. So you're going to go into the back loop only, and you're going to place a single crochet into each of those stitches. So you should have a total of 4 single crochet for each row that you work. Once you reach the end of this row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and enter into the back loop only. You're going to continue this method until you have crocheted a band long enough for your underbust. So in my case, I'm going to keep doing this pattern until I have obtained a band that covers 30 inches, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I have reached a total of 30 inches with my underbust band. So you're going to chain one, turn your work, pull up the other side of your band. So your band should be able to be flat like this. You're going to go into the back loop only like normal, but this time you're going to also go into the other end of your band so we can close this. So you're just going to slip stitch, go through the back loop, go through that corresponding loop, here, and pull through all sides. So this is just the part where you're slip stitching both ends together. Alrighty. So I have slip stitched both sides. So now it's completely closed. So you're going to chain one and place one single crochet into each space. So each space is going to get one single crochet. So I didn't count the total of rows that I did in order to get my band to be a length of 30 inches long, but if you did count your amount of rows, that's how many single crochets that you should have once you finish placing a single crochet onto the top of each row. So if you did a total rows of 60, then you should have a total of 60 single crochet because you're placing one single crochet at the top of each row. So you can get a better look here. At the top of this row, it got a single crochet. The top of this row got a single crochet. The top of this row got a single crochet. The top of this row got a single crochet. So each row is going to get a single crochet. Alright, so once you have placed your last single crochet, you're going to slip stitch into that first crochet that you made. Once you've slip stitched, you're going to chain two, pull tight, and then cut your work. Alright, so off camera, I went ahead and counted my total amount of single crochet around my entire band, and I counted 107. So I went ahead and placed a piece of yarn here. You can also place a stitch marker, but I placed it in the 54th stitch. So I have a total of 107, 107 stitches around the top. And this red yarn was placed in the 54th stitch. So I have a total of 53 on this side and a total of 53 on this side, plus that one in the middle, and that gives us 107. So this marker will serve as I will not be entering this stitch at all when I am making my cups, my bra cups, or the bra portion of our top. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my ruler And for this part, you want to measure the width of your breast. So the widest area of your breast you want to measure. And for me, it's 7.5 inches. So that's how much I'm going to do. So I'm going to place the beginning of my ruler here, not at the 54th stitch, but the 53rd stitch. And I am going to just hold my... So I kind of know where I'm going to be starting my cup based off of this. You can give it another shot, just kind of straighten it up a bit more just to be certain. Place it back flat as possible. And 7.5 is about here for me. So I'm going to mark that. This stitch here for me. I'm going to pull me another piece of yarn and I'm going to mark that. So as long as you lay it flat, you should end up measuring at the correct spot. So we know that when using a weight for yarn, that 4 stitches equals to 1 inch, and I'll show you how accurate that is. When I placed my start of my tape measure here and got the perfect stitch for 7.5, so 7.5 times 4 should be 30. So I'm going to count to see how accurate that was. So these are my total stitches. I'm going to start here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So perfect. So we have a total of 30 stitches. So isn't that crazy? Well, kind of, sort of, but just to show you guys that that method does work. So you can do either method. If the width of your boob is 8, you can just multiply that by 4. That's 32. So you'll know from your center stitch you need to count 32 across, and that's how much you'll have for your cup. So I'm going to save this spot here. I'm going to create a slip knot. So after you've made your slip knot, you're just going to pull it through, and we're going to be working our bralette with half double crochets. So you can go ahead and chain 1 to lock that in, and then you're going to go into that same space with a half double crochet. And you're going to place 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get to the stitch that's right before that space marked as red with the red yarn. So you're going to place a half double crochet into every stitch, even this stitch here, this stitch right before that middle stitch. So I have reached the mark here. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to go back into that very first stitch, and I'm going to work my way back down into every stitch with 1 half double crochet. I'm going to do a total of 4 rows, which is equivalent to an inch. I'm going to do a total of 4 rows of no increasing or decreasing. And then we are going to begin our decreasing. So our cup is going to be like more so triangular, and you will decrease according to your boobie size. For me, I'm going to be decreasing at different points because I want my triangle to remain slowly decreasing till about 7.5 inches, so that way it completely covers my boob. So I'm going to come back to you guys and show you how that's looking for me. And so until then, just make sure you are continuing to not decrease or increase. You're going to do 4 rows of no increasing or decreasing. So you have 1 and you're currently on the second one. So you're going to do a total of 4 and we'll be back. So I wanted to quickly come on here. I did say 4 rows, but we're actually just going to do 3 because we are working with half double crochet, and that kind of slipped my mind. So I know usually when we're working single crochet, 4 rows will equal up to an inch, but because we're doing half double crochet, 3 rows equals to an inch. So after you're at the end of your 3rd row, you're going to go ahead and start your first decrease. So chain 1, turn your work, go into the same space, pull up a loop, go into the next space, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. So that's how I did my decrease. For our decrease row, you're going to decrease at the beginning and you're going to decrease at the end of that row. And then you're going to work 2 regular rows and then decrease again on the 3rd row. But I will show you how that looks. So for now, you did your first decrease. Once you get to the end of this row, which right here, it's going to be your 4th row, you're going to do another decrease. So I went ahead and did my last decrease for my decrease row. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to go into that very first space, and you're going to put 1/2 double crochet into each space for the next 2 rows. So for this row and the next row, it's going to be a regular row. Then on the 3rd row, you're going to decrease again. Then you're going to do 2 regular rows and then decrease on the 3rd row. You're going to keep doing this. Okay? And I will come back before I do my major decrease to start my small straps. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have did a total of 18 rows, and this measures to be 5.75 inches. So beginning my 19th row, I'm going to start my decreasing for every single row. So this is going to result in a super dramatic increase, and that's exactly what I want and I need. So this marks, I'm going to, for my 19th row, I'm going to decrease here, starting my next row, I'm going to decrease and decrease here, and I'm going to continue doing that until my total cup measures to be 7.5 inches long. Okay, so from here to the top of my cup should measure 7.5 inches long. So I have did a total of 24 rows, working upwards now. And this measures out to be 7.5 inches, just what I needed to cover my entire breast. Now I am going to continue with a strap. So I'm no longer going to be doing any decreasing or increasing once I go on my 25th row. I'm just going to be placing a half double crochet into each stitch, chaining one, turning my work and placing a half double crochet in each stitch, and repeating that process, no longer increasing or decreasing. And I am going, so we have a total of 7.5 inches here, and I'm going to continue my strap until this total amounts to 24 inches long. So that 24 inches also includes this 7.5 inches that I've already done. So that means that I'm really only going to be making a strap that's the length of 16.5 inches long. So that's 16.5 plus this 7.5 is going to give us 24. And that total 24 inches measures from under my breast all the way on top of my shoulder back to under my armpit, but the back of me. So that's a total of 24 inches for me. So I'm going to do that, then come back and show you guys how we're going to go by connecting this to our strap to the back of our top. All right. Okay, guys, so now we are going to be attaching our strap to the back of our top. So after you have confirmed that your bralette as well as your strap measures to be 24 inches, on that last row, you're going to go ahead and chain one. So that is chain one. Then you're going to turn your work. And I have this stitch marked off with this crochet hook, but you're going to be going into that crochet hook. So, well, that space. So I'm just going to move that out and place my hook through that space. Then I'm going to go through the very first space of my strap. I'm going to pull through both sides and do a slip stitch. Then I'm going to repeat, go into the next space of my strap, pull through both sides and slip stitch. Again, my next space, the next space on this side as well, pull through both sides, slip stitch. So you're going to continue this until you have slip stitch both sides completely. Then you're going to chain two and cut your work. So I am at the ending now. Do the chain two, pull tight, then cut, pull through and pull tight. So both of your sides look the same as far as this is, of course, you're going to flip your top because this you want to be on the inside. Okay, so this is how you should be looking. This is the front of your top, and this is the back of your top. Looks great. So now we are going to get started on the spider web type of design. So I went ahead and I've created my first one, and I'm going to be doing the second one together with you guys. I will be incorporating a few color changes for my other circle. So it will not be a solid yellow like it was here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that lovely circle. Okay guys, so here are the colors that I'm using. All of them do not still have their wrap on, but this is one of the colors that I'm going to be using, and this is the color Persimmon. You can find this at your local Walmart. I'm also going to be using this green. This is like a green from the Mainstays acrylic yarn at Walmart. So it's like kind of like the off-brand, I guess you can say. And I'm also going to be using this super pretty blue here. Okay, so you want to begin by making a slip knot. Next, you are going to chain 10. After you have made a chain of 10, you are going to slip stitch into that very first stitch. So you're going to enter into that very first stitch. And then you are going to slip stitch. So I went into that very first stitch. Now I'm going to do a slip stitch. The next thing you are going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This first chain 3 will count as your first double crochet. Now you are going to place a total of 23 more double crochet into this space. You want to make sure that as you are placing your double crochet into the space that you are crocheting over the tail, so that when you finish, your tail will be hidden for the most part. So I'm going to continue placing my double crochet into my space. You will know you have completed the amount of 24 double crochet once you go back and count them. So this is 2, and you're going to place a total of 22 more, and we'll be back. Alright, so after you have placed your total of 24 double crochet into that center space, you can take this time to just recount them to ensure that you have a total of 24 double crochet. Then you are going to slip stitch at the top of your first chain 3. So this first chain 3 that counts as your first double crochet, you're going to be slip stitching into the top of that chain 3. So you can go in here and just try that again. Alright, like so. And just do a slip stitch. Okay? Now you are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. You're going to place a double crochet into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch. So you have a total of 3. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and into the very next stitch you're going to place a double crochet, and then you're going to place a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2. So you have 3 here, you chain 2, you have 3 here. You're going to chain 2 again, And into the very next space, you're going to place a double crochet. And then you're going to place a double crochet in those next two spaces. So if you can tell what we're doing as of now, you will place your 3, chain 2, place 3, chain 2, place 3, chain 2, into the very next space. You're going to place a double crochet, and then you're going to place a double crochet in the next two spaces. So you'll have a set of 3, then you're going to chain 2, a set of 3, chain 2, a set of 3, chain 2, a set of 3. You're going to continue all the way until you get back to the area here, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you are at your final set here. You're going to chain 2 and you are going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. So similar to our last row, you're going to be slip stitching at the top of that chain 3 to bring that row to an end. Now, the next thing you're going to do is, you guessed it, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go back into that same space that you just did your chain 3. So 2 is going to go into that very first space. Then in your next space, on top of the next double crochet, that next space, you're going to place 1 double crochet, and then into your next space, you're going to place 2 double crochet. Okay, so for our very first, it got 2, then our next one got 1, and then our last one got 2. So you're going to repeat that. Chain 2, the first space is going to get 2 double crochet. The next space is going to get 1 double crochet. The next space is going to get 2. So it's 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2 for this row. Of course, you're going to chain 2. We're following 2, 1, 2. So our next space is going to get 2 double crochet. The next space will get 1 double crochet, and that next space will get 2 double crochet. Okay, so close up and pause here. This one got 2, that got 1, and this one got 2. Then you're going to chain 2 and repeat all the way around till you get back to this last section. Okay, similar to our last row here, you're going to chain 2 and you will be slip stitching into the top of your chain 3. Okay. I'm going to slip stitch and close off your row. So for every row, that's how you're going to be closing off of your row. So for our next row, you're going to chain 3. You're going to go back into that same space with an additional double crochet. So from this point forward, with each of your rows, you are going to be opening up your row with 2. For this row, it's going to be, well, our before row was 2, 1, 2. This row is going to be 2, 1, 1, 2. So that's 2. Our next space is going to get 1. Our next space is going to get 1. Our next space gets 1. And then our last space is going to get 2. So for this row, I stand corrected. Our first row was 2, well, not our first row, but the row before this one. Our last row was 2, 1, 2. This row is 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. And then you chain 2. So that's going to be 2, 1. And when I'm giving this, it means you're skipping into the next. 1, 1. And then that last stitch is going to get 2. So for this row, it's 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Chain 2 and continue. And then do your final chain 2 here and slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. You're going to continue this pattern at the beginning of every single triangle here. You're going to put 2 in the first stitch and 2 in the last stitch. The middle stitches will always get 1 double crochet, but the beginner stitch and the ending stitch is going to get 2 double crochet. Similar to here, all the way around it's going to be the same thing. 2 in the beginning, the middle stitches get 1 double crochet, the ending stitch gets 2. Then you chain 2 and continue all the way around. You're going to keep going until your circle, and I will be doing a color change, so you can feel free to do a color change or keep this a solid color if you'd like. But I am going to continue working until my circle measures 14 inches across. Okay? And then I will be back. So once I have finished up this circle and it measures 14 inches across, I'm going to come back and we are going to attach these to our top, okay? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell, I have went ahead and attached my first circle already to our top. Now I am going to be attaching my second circle, and this is going to be on the back of the top. Now the same way or similar way of how we are going to attach this circle to the back of our work is similar to how you're going to do with the circle for the front of your work. So you want to keep in mind that when this is actually flipped the correct way, you want to make sure that your circle is showing the correct way. So to attach, we are going to flip it on the inside. Okay? So our circle is flipped on the inside of our work, the inside way facing, and so is our back panel. Both flipped on the outside. A good way to know that is if you look here where you attach your scraps, you see this raised part of where you attached, but when you flip it the correct way, it's nice and smooth. So we are going to be attaching our circle on the inward side, okay? So I've already marked off the middle of my back, which is labeled or shown by this blue piece of yarn. And I've also marked off the middle of my circle. So how I am going to do this is I'm going to count to see how many stitches will I need to account for on this side as well. So I'm going to count that middle stitch as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm going to move here and I'm going to count 12. So this space, the middle space, counts as 1, 2. So let me actually turn the work to where I can kind of understand it a little better. Okay, so this counts as 1. It's 1. And here's 2. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this space here marks our 12th space. So I'm going to take my 5mm crochet hook and I'm going to be attaching in the same color, which is this saffron yellow. So I'm going to create a slip knot and I'm going to go through the 12th stitch. So I'm already on the 12th stitch on this. I'm going to go on the 12th stitch of this as well. And then I'm going to pull my slip knot through both sides, so this side as well as here. And I'm going to chain 1 to secure that in place. And then I'm going to continue to work downward. So that's 1. So from this point you're just going to continue to slip stitch. Make sure for each row you're going into each matching stitch and you're going to work all the way until you have completed 12 on this side, as well as starting at that middle stitch, 12 on this side. So this whole back, this whole triangular should be attached to your top. Okay, so I'm at the ending here and I'm going to chain 2, pull tight and cut my string, pull through. Now when you flip your top over, you should notice that it is seamlessly attached. Okay, so you have the back of your top. You have the back of your top as well as the front of your top. You can move all of your little markers. You can go back and weave in ends, extra ends, things of the sort. Now you will be creating 2 long chains, and these chains will serve as a purpose to close the sides of your top. So this part is closed, but this part, which is more towards your belly area and your lower stomach, you will have to create a chain that best suits your body in order to string through both sides. I'm going to do my chain in white for both of my sides, and then I'm going to place these together and come back and show you the finished look, okay?